judgments and settlements and verdicts of...
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Saturday, May the 7th, and I have not did a video in a few days. So I thought today I was going to push myself. These are the moments where I have to really push myself. Demetrius Thomas coming to you via video on my YouTube channel, Healing to Help Heal 1122. So of course I just dropped my grandbaby off to his amazing mom's house. I'm just truly blessed. I can claim from my experience with one of the best bonus daughters that I truly can say as the mother of my grandson. No one can tell me that Jeremiah 29, and God has plans for us. He knows our future. No one can tell me that. I'll never doubt that since my son's passing. So you all know that I usually go live on my Facebook page. So if I say Facebook page really quick, that's what I'm talking about. Or if I say YouTube page, that's because this is something new and different that I'm making myself do. My YouTube channel, it's not new. My videos, these videos are not new, but I'm trying to be more consistent. But honestly, I took a few days off because I needed to. I wanted to go every day. Y'all remember I said that, but I think I put up 3 or 4 last week. And then I just took a moment to just breathe and said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay that you're not going every day, because just on the journey, this thing called life, you have to just learn to slow it down, and you just have to just make it do what it do. And you have to be wise about what you do. And you have to understand that it's okay that you can have plans, but you need to shift things around. So I wanted to always share with you and inspire you and encourage you all to become the best version of yourself. Okay, you all know I started, and a lot of times when I repeat myself when I start off with my videos, it's because I always get new viewers all the time. But I'll share this to my Facebook page once I finish sharing with you a piece of my heart. And as you all know, month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I have been intentionally doing some things. I haven't engaged in the last couple of weeks. I'm saying last couple of days, because I've had to process a lot. But I put a post up this morning. I finally was able to put a post up in regards to my son, and a picture of who he would always call. Matter of fact, I don't think he's ever called he'll call other people mama. Ooh, okay, this light is green. He'll call other people mama, but I can honestly say that this was his other white mama, and that's what he called her. And I put that picture up of him. You know that this channel was birthed through this channel. I've had another YouTube channel before, but this channel, the Healing Channel YouTube channel, was birthed through the loss of my son, and because this is one of the avenues that I connected with to bring so much healing to myself. So I knew that this was one journey, or just another journey, that I would take to share authentically about how I got to such a space of healing and a place of just wanting to even live again, wanting to thrive again. And I want to go live, but really, I'm just, confession, my emotions are all over the place. They really are. And I just don't feel like crying in front of people. Like, y'all know me, I'm very authentic. So I want to talk about, just to touch a little bit on healing. And it's the month of May, and it's about, it's the Mental Health Awareness Month. And Mother's Day is tomorrow, and you all know how that can be. So when I begin to share this picture of my son and his white mama, she sent me the picture earlier this week, and I had never seen the picture before. So of course, when I looked at the picture, I wrote in these words about how this picture, I looked at it, and it almost scared me, because for a moment in my mind, I thought, I wonder, did he go visit her today? And then just for a moment, literally, the picture looks so authentic. It looks like, it made me think he was at her office that day. And then I had to come face reality within about 10 seconds and say, no, maybe in spirit, but he's not there physically. So then, therefore, the natural part of me took over, and the tears just covered my face, and I just sat and kind of just sat my phone down and looked down at the picture. And I did that for a few days, on and off, on and off, on and off. I think I replied to her really quick, but the picture was such a blessing to me because I got many revelations out of the picture, and I'll share that later, because this is my 10-minute talk about it, and I'm already 5 minutes in. But it's the Mental Health Awareness Month, and I begin to share with you about my journey to becoming whole and to getting my mind back healthy. And I even confessed that I had been diagnosed with a mental illness during the loss of my son. And I talked about one, but I think I had several. And I talked about why mental health awareness or mental illness is hard to be talked about. It's hard when you have the risk of having something or you feel different in your mind. And it's hard because it's a taboo subject, but there's a stigma and there's a judgment, a misjudgment behind mental health. And that's why people don't go get the counseling. They don't go get the therapy. They don't want to talk about it. And they reside in that energy and they learn how to mask it. They don't heal from it properly. So therefore it's just things that build up on top of each other. So my space, the place that I was in 2021, is when I knew that I had too many things that had compounded my life after the death of my son, and I knew I wasn't thinking right. It wasn't even suicidal thoughts. It was a lot of hurts on top of hurts. And I'll say this to you, just because someone says that I don't even care if I wake up in the morning, that's not necessarily suicidal thoughts, because that's not, until someone literally says, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to take myself out. I'm going to finish myself. Until they speak direct harm to themselves, that's when you know that you need to find and seek help for someone else. But in my case, it was to the point, and even in 2021, I wasn't even in a space where I felt like I wanted to do harm to myself or even someone else. It's just where I was at mentally. I wasn't processing hurts properly. I wasn't processing the pain that others had inflicted on me intentionally properly. I wasn't processing the things that I saw and could discern in the courtroom when I was going through with my son properly. And it was things that was adding on top of each other. Now, I'm saying that to say this. When I got to that space in my own life privately, I had already had grief counseling. I had already been connected with amazing prayer warriors and intercessors. But it wasn't until I got to a space in my own heart and a place in my own mind where I said, you really have to do some things differently. And that's what I'm going to be excited to share with you on next week. Some of the things that I did intentionally to bring my mind back and to even start and want to bring my mind back. That's how this channel is formed. Mental Health Awareness Month. Awareness is all, that's what it means. You're bringing awareness to mental health. It's not necessarily talking about mental illness. Well, what I want to share with you is I want you to get this. A lot of people are walking around unhealthy mentally. Now, this is what's dangerous about mental health. And this is why it's on the rise, even since COVID. And this is why people can walk around and mask it, because mental health, you cannot do an x-ray necessarily unless it's something dealing with the brain to be able to diagnose something mentally that's going on with a person. Mental health can be and usually is covered up by so many things and people, so many circumstances, because there's no real x-ray for it. If my leg is broken and it's hurting, there's an x-ray to show that. If my heart is not right, there's things that can show that, and that can show the doctors what's going on in my life. But I need you to understand this. Mental health is people that are walking in your door, your children, your husband, your wife, your family, your partner, your doctor, your lawyer, your teacher, your friend, mental health is really people that look like you and I every day. Your preacher, your deacon, I'm serious, y'all. Mental health looks normal. That's why it's dangerous. You have to bring awareness. And I think the awareness that needs to be brought about mental health is it's okay that you're not okay. I know it was okay that I was not okay, because I had not been okay for almost 2 years. But I know it was not okay for me to not be okay and to still reside alone by myself and to still feel the way I felt when I was by myself. So therefore, I had to put in another level of work. I had to put in another level of healing to get to this space where I am now. And the moment that I confessed on one of my live feeds, and God, I thank you. The moment that I confessed, because you all know my page is intentionally purposeful. My Facebook page is intentional about bringing awareness to different things. It started at health and fitness, and now it's on so many other things. It's on the death, it's on the grief, it's on pain, it's on healing. Now it's on so many other things. It's on being vulnerable, it's on watching as well as praying. It's on to the single, the married, or the young woman, the old woman, being careful to watch those that know that you're broken and they want to attach themselves with you, and that's what they do. My awareness is in so many different avenues now, and I get that. So we need to bring awareness to those who are struggling, that it's okay that you're struggling, but it's not okay that you're struggling alone, and it's not okay that you feel like it's not okay, or there's something wrong with you and the way you feel. The problem comes in is when we don't fix what we feel. The problem comes in is when we don't face what we feel. The problem comes in when we keep that thing quiet. The problem comes in is when we don't know how to address, we don't know how to talk about it, but that's where the awareness need to be brought to. The mental health is not the issue, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people walk around with mental health issues that have gone unfixed, unresolved, not properly, that have turned into mental illnesses. And I'm going back scriptures. I'm going to go to the scripture. And this is going to be more than 10 minutes, because I have not said anything the last 2 or 3 days. So I really get another 20-30 minutes if I went 10 minutes a day. So I'm going to give you a little bit extra today, because this is what I'm feeling in my heart. You need to understand, it's not the mental health. It's not the way your mind is. It's the fact that you're not getting any help for the way you know you're thinking. Because a lot of us, and I'm going to speak to probably I don't even think it's just African American. I want to say that, but it's not just us. But I know for sure, because I am that woman that said, what goes on in my house, stay on in my house, until I couldn't fix it. I had to go to the preacher. I had to go to the sisters at the church. I had to go to the brothers at the church, and then they couldn't fix it. Then I had to go to the counselors at the school. Can y'all help me? Then they couldn't fix it. Then I had to go to therapists outside of the school, and I had to get some. They couldn't. I'm telling you. Then I had to go back and learn how to do some things spiritually for myself. So my thing is, mental health, the biggest thing comes about mental health is being aware that you're not the only one. There's so many people thinking and going through what you're going through. And y'all listen, there's some folks that are not coming back from some things. There's some folks that really have to numb things. There's some folks that are really have lost it and don't know their way. Why do you think our mental hospitals are filled? They're not just filled from folks who are diagnosed with stuff that could have been that they had at birth. No, it's some folks that really, really fell off the ledge. It's some folks that really mentally lost it. And that's a part of my testimony. I shared that for the first 2 weeks after my son passed, when I woke up and didn't know where I was at. I couldn't figure it out. And I was laying in my childhood home in my mom's room, and it happened to me 2 or 3 days in a row. And one of my very close friends let me know that you're about to check out. And that means mentally. She said, check out, meaning when you hear people say they checked out and they had to take them out in a wagon, that's what she said, and they had to literally bring them back mentally. That happens to people every day. Now, some people, they can bring them back, they get help for it. Some people check out and they block their minds out, so they take care of themselves and they fix themselves where they never come back. So my thing is, at that moment, 2 weeks after my son passed, I knew that I had to put forth some things to get myself even to a state of wanting to live again. So that was 2 weeks. So try a year and a half later, and you just come out of something that was so crazy that you didn't understand, and God showed you. And this is what I need you to understand: a real woman of God and a real man of God, God will show you things and show you people, and they'll never understand how you know what you know, but you know it, and it's the truth. And as you can look back and see how people can intentionally do things, whether they mean to or not. And you're sitting back and you're wondering, why me? Why my journey? Why did they attack me this way? I did nothing wrong. Do they not know I just lost my son? Have they not watched me? Have they not watched my story? How can people be so cruel? But you got to understand, you're dealing with spirits, and you're dealing with broken people, and you're dealing with people that have not fixed their hurts, and you're dealing with people who have mental health issues that if they have not had them fixed, the toxicity has really pushed them over into a mental illness. PTSD is real. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. Stress is, all of these are illnesses. Wait till I give you a list of simple illnesses. They're simple, that folks have been diagnosed with, that they have to take a supplement, and I don't knock that. That's your life. But for you, that wasn't mine. When I list these things and they're going to seem simple, you're going to be like, oh my God, yes. And if people haven't handled that properly, and most people haven't because we're too busy, we're not productive, we're busy, and we're numbing and we're coping, whether it's sex, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs. We're not sitting in a sober mind state, alone for real, and really, really seeking the Father's hand and learning really how to pray to whomever who is your God. But I know my God has done a great work in my life. That's why I'm able to share the way I'm able to share. I'm going to give you 4 more minutes. That's 20 minutes. So I'm giving you a double 10-minute talk about it, because I told you I haven't shared on my channel in 3 days, but I felt led today to share this with you. When you have to come back from things that you know people have intentionally done to you, and you haven't done any wrong, it wasn't you, it wasn't your fault, and people have put things on your name, and when people thought you was gonna stay down forever, because when people do stuff like intentionally try to sabotage you and intentionally try to hurt you, and they know you broken, that ain't nobody but the enemy trying to stump you while you down in your neck, really trying to choke the life out of you. Then you have to come to a place in your life where you know this is something, there's something bigger, and there's something greater in this for me. There's something that I don't have a clue that's gonna come through me through this, all of this. There's no way. I should not even be here, y'all. When I went through what I went through in 2021 and in 2020, I should not mentally be here. So that's why I know this was all a setup. And I just had an amazing opportunity to share with I consider him one of the top writers in Atlanta about a book. And I gave him free advice that is paid advice. I paid for what I shared today. But the Lord had me to share with this young man and encourage him to write the book, because you got people that are waiting on your story. That's how you have to look at your missions in life. You have to push through the mental health issues. You have to push through the times and figure out ways to put your mind back together. There are ways and things and people and connections where you can get to this same space in life, but it's going to take work. When I tell you this, because I knew that I did not even realize it, y'all, as many people have watched my story and have watched this glow up. This come from a lot of brokenness, but because I've been authentic, because I've been open and honest, and you've watched my journey, which I have not had to fake about it. I don't have to make up tears. I don't have to fake like I'm whole, or fake like I'm broken, or fake like I'm the victim. Listen, I'm hurting. It's Mother's Day tomorrow, but when God can give me the insight, and I know how to get in a place, a quiet place alone, when I can lay in my mama's home, and I can lay and look at the ceiling and realize, oh my God, I've been in this house for real by myself for 2 months, by myself, like nobody there. Y'all, I have never been alone by myself, not since before my son died. For 2 months. He said, you've been in this house for 2 months by yourself. That's powerful, y'all. It was days that I couldn't stay hours by myself. God has done that kind of a work, but I had to put in work. Did you hear what I just said? I had to put in work. That just don't happen overnight. That doesn't happen from happenstance. And I'm going to share with you some of the ways that I had to put in work to get to where I'm at. It's how bad you want it. But when you realize how bad the enemy is trying to mess up your life, when you realize how bad the enemy wants to destroy your mind, everything starts within the mind. Because we can walk around and look the part. We can look whole. We can look healed. We can look put together. That's the trick. You got people that's over people. You got people that are in top positions. You got people that make plenty of money. You got people, listen at me. You got people that appear to be very, very successful. Do y'all hear what I'm telling you? You got people that are successful. I'm telling y'all, I can't make this up. That's why the mental health is so vitally important. Because you can look like you are playing a part. I watch it on social media every day. I watch people who look the part every day. One is my cousin home. I come back here all the time. I think she with hers. I'm going to keep it moving today. So my thing is, that's what's the dangerous part. Really. We can cover this up. And once a person really learns how to mask something for years, it's just what they do. It's who they are. And you'll never know it unless God allows you to connect with a person on a certain kind of way. And only because I'm so open and transparent, not just about my good days, but my bad days. Not just about my easy days, but my hard days, because that's what I'm called to. I'm serious. So I love you all. It's 20 minutes in. It's my 10-minute talk about it segments, but I hadn't shared in 3 or 4 days, so I felt the need to do that now. Thank you all for your comments on my post. Thank you all for doing what you do and how you do it. I love you dearly. I'm thinking about going live tomorrow, maybe in the morning, saying a special prayer for those who are struggling, because it's not easy. But this right here, what you're looking at, is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I'm going to say, I gotta say this. The more I heal, the more God reveals to me about myself. And the more I heal, the more he opens up for me. This week was supernatural for me, and it still is. He's unfolding in ways that I can't believe, the dreams that are coming true for me. The doors that are opening for me. And he told me, I promised you the land of milk and honey. I promised you that. And because in your broken space, you allowed me to put you together again. Not mama, my dad in heaven, not friends. They helped, but nobody really got this glory but me and God. And I'm so grateful for it, y'all. And he said, as you just continue to grow and you continue to heal, watch how much more I have for you. So that's all I can say. I love y'all dearly. Happy Mother's Day Eve. Blessings. Love, peace, and happiness. Your Peakologist.